Hey, welcome back. It's Brad Ward, Ward's Auctions. We are, what are we at? We are at June 11th is the sale coming up. And it is, the preview is actually today. We're shooting this quite late. I was out of town for a week. And so the viewing is today, Friday the 9th. None of you are going to see this in time for that. And that's going to be from 4 till 8. Some of you might see it. But the sale itself is going to close. Bidding now closes on the 11th of June, 2023, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, in catalog order, one at a time. It's all online, but hopefully you got the word that the viewing is today. I would say a key item in the sale is this Danish rosewood mid-century modern table. Look at the width of these chairs. This is after you've had all the turkey and dessert. You can still fit in there. It's actually a round table. There's one leaf in it now. And then there's two more huge insert leaves right here. So you can make this thing big enough for everybody, including the unwanted in-laws. Brand name glider rocking horse. More mid-century teak. There's going to be a few pieces of that coming along. These are watch winders for the automatic watches. Now, if you've seen the gallery already, you'll see we have a plethora of watches, antique watches, pocket watches, wrist watches, Rolexes, office chairs. Again, mid-century, not in the teak, but look at this. The set of tables. There's four of them. They are as close to mint condition as you're going to get in that type of furniture. They've been in somebody's rumpus room for all those years. This sofa set here is a brand name, Dempsey's, and I think that was the retailer. It's all in the catalog anyhow. Dempsey's. Anyhow, there's a $6,000 price tag to go along with that one. Top quality. Very retro on the lamps there. This desk comes apart. Quarter cut oak desk. Comes all apart so you can move it easily. Some funky pieces there. This is a fold over antique games table. So you would rotate it and then fold it over. So you got your games table. Nice piece there. Royal Albert China and Old Country Roses with several sets and partial sets of china in the sale. I'm going to get the camera to swing over to that display case because, again, a huge amount of die-cast toys. This is just a small portion of it. They're going to be spread around the building. John Deere and Case and Ford and, vintage pieces, steam engines, you name it, we have got it. These nice recliners, when we get the camera to come around, see what we're missing here, are... They're recliners, so I'm going to sit on my microphone here, but they recline. And they push back. And they have been sort of our go-to living room here for the last couple of weeks since they came into the building. Another mid-century set here, different style altogether. This one would be walnut, I believe. China cabinet here. Did we sell it all as a set? $266. So all a set. This is a chest on chest, so easier to move. This has got a leaf in it now. Two leaves. One skirted, one non-skirted. So this goes into a square. 73 Mustang. Now this was somebody's baby for a long time, and this was his daily driver or almost daily driver. The cassette stereo system of the time. I was a Cutlass guy back in those days, but I was the same. Had to have the loudest and coolest cassette system on the planet. So I did. So I had two Cutlasses in the day. This Ford is a great start. I mean, you could just clean it up and use it the way it is. It's been sitting for about 15 years. Did not get it running. The consignor just decided just to send it the way it was. So I was at his house. It was in the garage, just covered in dust and whatever, and we just had the tow truck bring it over, cleaned it up a little bit without getting carried away, and here it is for you. So it's going to be a great, easy to start, to get started project because it's been basically taken care of and sitting in the garage for years. It still has points ignition, so I wouldn't be surprised if a very minor tune-up would get that thing operational. That's just my opinion, being an ex-mechanic. Big screen here. Double-sided, the old walnut bedroom suites. We're going to find a couple of things in this building that are large. So this was actually out of the dinette, like sort of the kitchen dinette area of a huge house. And we didn't take the dining room suite because it was just the wrong era. But everything was big. It was a monster, beautiful 67-acre acreage, just absolutely fantastic. But you're going to see a solarium table coming up that would absolutely amaze you. Well, it will absolutely amaze you. The sewing machine here, it's not a Singer, it's a Dominion Mission cabinet. So we're actually going to need you to come around, Stephen, with the camera, because it's really the cabinet that's of note here. It's a Mission style cabinet. So again, me having Mission furniture in my home would work out perfectly. Motion lamp here with a simulated water going down. We missed seeing some of the slag glass ceiling fixtures that were over there, but here's a couple here. These are not antique chairs. These are modern, antique style, but you can see the quality and the condition is spectacular. Same house as the big dinette table, so very impressive. And there's a whole lot of Swarovski crystals that came out of that home. And some other stuff too. I don't remember what all. Oriental lacquered table and chair set, East Lake. I think we're going to be able to fire this up for you. This thing is so neat. You can actually select your records. Like you think that your MP3 player or your iPod is fancy, you can select whatever record you want out of there. Obviously, you would have a little catalog showing what is in what album is in what slot. I think the arm's a bit stiff, so I can see where it needs a little bit of work. Volume. Oops, I just killed it. That's okay, you get the point. Should have wound it up some more. But just sort of a neat, first of all, it's quarter cut oak, not walnut or mahogany. So again, that appeals to me. And then it has those little extras, like the shutters that are like all louvered, and then that select a function there is so neat. Awesome tiles on the back of this washstand. I don't want to say what kind they are because I'd probably get it wrong. It would be speculative, but something good. Some nice carpets. There's a few here hanging from the last sale that somehow did not get paid for or picked up. We don't want to talk about that, so we'll see what happens there. We just left them hanging, but there's a nice selection of carpets. A couple of full hides here. We're going to carry on. Louis Vuitton, same home as the big dinette set, Swarovskis and that sort of thing. So you got a couple Louis Vuittons and a Prada. You've got some art glass. We're going around this side of the cabinet. We've got, the measuring tools here, and you're going to see a CNC router coming up. You're going to see watch tools. No, the watch tools might be a different guy. But these tools, measuring tools, micrometers, 3-point inside, different sizes, they have little to no miles on them and condition, they're 100%. Whoever had them took extreme care of them, which you should with these types of tools. So I think you can certainly bid with confidence on those. Another Louis Vuitton, that flatware that's on top of the cabinet is sterling, Burke sterling. There's some I think it's international sterling below. There's some nice custom-made damask bladed knives down there. I kind of doubt that the camera will do it any justice, but take a minute and go on the website and look them up, and you'll find them. Monster of a loving cup here, beautiful vintage collectible porcelain or china, sorry. Around the front we've got some Bleak, we've got some soapstones, we've got some crystal, we've got Bristol glass and jade or jadeite. Don't quote me on that just yet. Some homemade and some retail swords and that sort of items. Dresden style figures, all that kind of thing. We got Victorian chairs. This is a sort of more modern table that is quite expensive as well, and you even get the catalog to go with it. We're kind of back where we started. I think, I want to show this box. I know we're bouncing all over the place. We never script these things. This box is so cool. Little compartments. All sorts of stuff going on. I imagine the whole tray comes out. There we go. You can do all sorts with this. Fill it full of stuff, talk about it, do whatever. We might end up, I think we'll just squeeze through here. We might end up cutting out this little piece of walkabout, come on through, or we might just leave it in. We'll probably leave it in. Tuftings, moose tuftings and that sort of thing. Again, I'm just talking off the cuff here. Marla Wilson Originals. Those are pretty nice. This, you know what? I know we're balancing. This desk and the set we need to show only because it is modern. I mean, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $11,000 they paid for this. And again, had very little use, so there's no real marks and stuff. There's electrical, you can plug it in, and then you've got USBs and outlets there, and then it all comes apart. So you do have this sort of double pedestal section with its hutch, and then each side section is 2 pieces. So as far as moving it around, or if you don't quite have the space for it, you can be flexible with that. Over here is a mountain of fabrics and sewing notions. We still have 2 more rooms to go through, so I'm sure by now you're saying, come on, get at it. Pocket watches like crazy, some absolutely wonderful pieces. Some appraised jewelry. This ring here is just under $10,000. We have a couple of Rolex watches, vintage ones. So this one is a 1946-47, and the other one is a pre-1926. And let me just have a quick peek at the appraisals. We had them appraised, Michael Meridoff in Edmonton here, where you can stand behind his appraisals. So the 4046 is appraised at $5,900. These appraisals are on the website, so they're easy to find. And then 107 is the older one. It's appraised at $3,000. Really nice pieces, both working at time of cataloging. Yeah, some other gold and diamonds and whatnot, some silver coins, lots of pocket watches. Whenever possible, if it's working at time of cataloging, we say that and describe them as best we can. It's not to say that there's a warranty. It just means that it was working at time of cataloging. You still have to bid accordingly. It is still an auction, and it's, you bid on what you see. All of this glassware is fantastic. I'm going to say all, if not all of this, 99% of this came out of one collection. And all early pieces, Georgian pieces, etc. So look at the descriptions on the website for that. Swarovski crystal, piles and piles of it. Whenever possible, at least on the bigger pieces, we have model numbers and that's our catalog numbers or whatever they call them. Decanters, crystal, clay, watchmakers' lathes or jewelers' lathes. There's 2 or 3 or 4 of them, including this one, which is a really nice little piece. Got collets inside there, all sorts of accessories. So when you're putting those together and you want to get the collets and whatnot, it's an ordeal to get them. Art glass, more crystal, carpets. These are larger carpets, so look at your catalog. It's hard for us to display them, of course, so we have to sort of rely on you to use your imagination because they're so big. You can't roll them all out. The building's just not big enough. More little sets of china. This little demi set is Minton. This little set, I believe, is an Ainsley. Yeah, that's an Ainsley. So you got some nice little sets there. Another watchmakers or jeweler's lathe. Ladro and Dalton figures. Another lathe here. Those are favorite. We've got die cast. Again, funky little, I don't know if they're older or not, but they sure look cool. The Unimat lathe. This one's just like my dad had. I think my brother has now. Allied tin plate. There's another row over there. But instead of doing that, let's go into the other room before we run out of program. And we have, of course, the exerciser. I don't know. This one has some sort of a turbine on there for some reason. It's a Bowflex. It's a brand name, so it's a good brand name. Rigid chop saw. Watchmakers tools and other small tools, hand tools. Some of them are watch specific. Some of them are just small tools. There's watch parts, bags of non-working. Well, actually, that's not true. There could be easily, of course, working pieces in there, but by and large, it's parts. Honk and big slide. Look at a rocker. Guess what house that came from? You're right. Absolutely. English wheel, never been used, never been on a man's back. Really nice. I haven't heard it myself, but I know it's a quiet compressor. Now this CNC router with an actual spindle, an actual liquid-cooled spindle, and a liquid-cool pump there. I don't know enough about it other than to say it's clearly never been assembled. So it was be one of those kits that you buy and then assemble. And then this is the controller for it, so you would design it on your whatever CAD software you use, and then import it to there, and then it would cut. So it's an actual spindle head, not one that you put on a Mickey Mouse router. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the ones that you put on a router, but this one is inarguably a step up from that, I would think. There's more die cast. This whole cabinet is filled with die cast, and some more watchmaking tools over there as well. Stakers and that sort of a thing. And then, of course, like I said, your die cast, your honkin' big pots. Now look at this table. Like, is that, 9 feet across? This is a patio table. And the house, it's like an alloy. Like, I don't want to say aluminum, but it's a cast alloy of some sort. The house, the yard, had a pergola-covered patio that this fit in with all the room you need around it to not be crowded. And then upstairs had another area that was a built-in. If I'm not mistaken, it was a built-in kitchen thing. There was stools added, etc., that are in the other room, and that was above this. So like this place was gorgeous. And then there was a built-in. I don't know why I'm telling you about this. We're not selling it. It's already sold. Built-in barbecue thing over on sort of the outskirts. The point is, look at the size of it. More tools, lots and lots of tools. We'll have to go through your catalog and just have a look at that. Some of the stuff has very low miles on it. Framing nailers. I don't even know what this one is. What is this one? It's a flooring stapler. Okay, that makes sense. Flooring stapler. Bostitch, good brand name. And that one is a kicker one. So that's what I was expecting. So that's a bigger one. More micrometers, polishers, measuring tools, winches, and then these are there's extra wheels for these, polishing wheels. So these are very fine finish tool sharpening units. So, and then more measuring tools. Look, there's no miles on this. It's a Draper. It's going to be excellent quality. Pretty dear to buy new, I'm quite sure. So I think for the most part we have covered the building. So wardsauctions.com. We're in Edmonton. It's a live viewing today, and the sale is, of course, in the building, but it's online. 11802 145 Street, Northwest Edmonton. 451-4549. 780-451-4549 is the phone number. And the bidding's happening now. It closes on Sunday, the 11th of June to 2023. My name is Brad Ward. Thanks for watching. Hope we'll see you at the viewing.